วัสดีค่ะ Welcome to Be My Guest and you're with me สดชื่อลิมเกรียงไกร In today's episode we will be talking to an organization that has been managing properties around downtown and financial district of Bangkok for quite some time. Let's hear more about it with our guest today. In today's episode, we are joined by Associate Professor Dr. Visanu Sapsompon, Vice President for Property and Innovation Management. สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีครับ
Thank you for joining us today. First of all, let me ask you to explain more about this organization itself.
Well, the King Rama VI gave us the big plot of land,
I see.
More than 1,300 rights to establish, actually to expand
I see.
From higher education to become a Chulalongkorn University.
I see.
So his long-term vision was to use one part of the land for education,
I see.
but another part is to use for commercial in order to generate income to support the education without having rely on government budget.
I see. So it creates more freedom for the university
Yes,
as well.
exactly.
I see. So what is the objective and the duties of this organization?
Well, this unit is to manage the university property professionally and
see.
efficiently, in order to generate enough revenue with transparent.
I see. So has this organization been established since the land was given or was it established later on?
Later on, actually in 1971.
Okay, so that's quite some time later actually.
Yep.
I
Yep.
see.
Yes. In 1971, the University Council approved to set up a unit
I
to
see.
manage the property.
I
Because at the early age, it was just a land. Okay. No community, no any development.
I see. So since the land needs a management system, it means that the land is quite big. So where does it start and where does it end? The property of Chulalongkorn University.
Well, the location starting from Rama the First Road to Rama Fourth Road.
I see.
So, and on the west-east direction, starting from Hangri Dunang Road to Batathong Road.
I see. So it's a large area.
Yes.
And as you've mentioned before that there is not really much plot of land, big plot of land left in Bangkok. So what are the projects that already have been established by the property management?
Well, 30% of the already granted land is used for commercial.
I see.
70% for education. Okay. In 30%, you might be familiar with the Siam Square.
Yes, of
So
course.
it's that original project that
Everybody knows it.
has been developed for a long time since I was born. Other projects, the big one is was Mabun Kong or
That
NBK.
everybody knows as
Right.
well.
That was one of the first public-private partnership, or we call PPP at the moment. That project we gave concession to the private investor of Mabun Kong Group.
I see.
To develop retail.
I see. So what was the reason that you decided, that the organization decided to lease the land to, places like department stores? Like we would imagine that you would probably lease the land to educational purposes, maybe museums or other
Right.
stuff like that. Why did you choose something like department stores?
Actually, it's a combination. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, we still need to use the given land to generate sufficient income to support for education.
I
Of
see.
course, for commercial business, compared to a museum,
Yes.
museum maybe is not the activity that we can generate much money.
I see.
Right. So
it's more of a business side as
right,
well.
but it's just one part of that. As like not all 30% of land that we have used for department store. It's just a small part of that.
I see.
We still have plenty of land left.
I see. Is there any other projects apart
Yes.
from the two you've mentioned?
Yes, actually, well, right now we are planning for building a smart intellectual society.
I see.
Well, with almost 300 right.
Wow.
Actually, it's a big part comparing to Siam Square. Siam Square size is about 60 right.
So it's a lot much bigger.
Right, about almost 5 times.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we just recently we just built a park. The size of the park is about 29 right.
Oh, wow.
Half size Siam Square. So in order to give back to society, as a gift to society to celebrate centenary 100
see.
years of Chulalongkorn University.
I
So that's an example project.
I see. So what's the concept of developing the areas?
Well, if we look at what society want, we need something smarter, more intellectual, eco-friendly. These are the key concepts that we need something like this in a middle of Bangkok.
Yes,
Right.
definitely.
Because if you look at Bangkok now, there was such a big place of empty land left.
Yes, true.
Okay, so we need something to build a future of Thailand. That's why we need to gather our public opinions. What you would like to see. Like you mentioned, why don't we build a museum?
Yes.
Yeah, that's one thing. So somebody might want something else,
I
but
see.
we have to build for a future generation.
I see. So when you mentioned that for future generation, is that like a time frame of building this, or it's just ideas that will be implemented soon, but no specific time frame?
Well, at the moment, we are planning for a master plan.
I see.
To try to gather all information, gather all public opinion, stakeholders, so what the Thai people want for their future.
I see.
But using this plan.
I see.
Okay. So for master plan, we think we will use about 6 months, and then
6 months.
yeah, to start a project.
I see.
So to develop project, we separate in 3 phases. For the first year, maybe just like a rehabilitation, just a short project.
I
We try to increase awareness to society. But for medium term, like infrastructure, we need sometimes like 3 or 4 years
course,
until
yes.
it's finished, right? So it takes medium term. That projects, the university will invest by ourselves.
I see.
To develop infrastructure, supporting facilities.
I see.
Okay. But in the long-term project, we need private investment. So that's why we need to. It takes time,
I see.
to go through public-private partnership. Because right now in Thailand we have a PPP law. We have to comply to this law.
I
We have
see.
to conduct a feasibility study and to get approval from the government.
I see. And I've heard that you're developing it as a smart city as well. Can you explain more about that?
Well, the key concept of smart city is not. Of course, smart city must be green, right? Green, eco-friendly, and smart.
I see.
With innovation to support the lifestyle.
I see.
In our city that we are going to build, will include everything, all of this concept. It must be developed based on this concept.
I see.
Green, smart, and eco-friendly. Okay.
So So what can you expect in this smart city? What will you see in the city?
Well, there are quite many components, many critical components. Okay, when we talk about city, the people may live, learn, and play as well. Live,
so that's the concept.
Yeah, that's the concept.
Okay.
Live mean in terms of quality of life. Okay, learn mean not only informal learning system but also informal system.
I see.
Right? And play not only about entertainment but also about exercise.
I see. What do you mean by exercise? Do you mean like workout or what type of exercise?
It can be both. It can be a formal and informal, right? Recreation. We are fortunately that we actually in our land, we have like National Stadium. We built a new park, CU Centenary Park. Yeah, this facility already support the sport, exercise, and even recreation already. But we just improve.
So the existing infrastructures will be more developed.
Right.
I see.
We are going to have a new project which is going to finish about in August. In August this year. We call it Stadium 1. Actually, we give concession to private investor with the concept of building buy and run community.
Oh, okay.
Okay, the buy and run community means that we gather our biking business and running business together, more than 60 shops.
I see. Actually, it's a big trend right now, biking and running actually.
But there are no cluster.
Exactly.
If you look at the biking business, biking shop, it's fragment.
Yes.
So that's why we invite, most of them to come to into one place.
That would be great, actually. I'm sure it will be a big hit because it's really a hot trend right now.
And easy to access. It's next to BTS station.
So these areas that you mentioned, where will it be? Is it like the whole area that already have existing projects, or you will create new projects?
Create a new project. With next to National Stadium.
Ah, okay.
And in the corner of Bantatong Road and Rama the First Road.
I see. This is for the biking and running.
Right.
I see. So what other projects will be for this year other than that, or is that just the one?
Well, there are quite a few number of projects. We're going to open a new park really soon, next month.
Oh wow, very soon.
Well, another project that we are going to build is, we call it Block 33.
Block 33.
Block 33, comprising of residential, and we call it co-creative business district.
I see.
The co-creative business means we are going to invite the business that support each other.
I see.
And relating to innovation, creativity, and when we put them together, it's going to be a new cluster.
Sounds very interesting. Well, now we'll take a short break and we'll talk more about it in our next break. In our second break, we are still with Associate Professor Dr. Visanu Sapsompon, Vice President for Property and Innovation Management. So in our second break, in our last break actually, we were talking about the projects. So let me ask you more. Other than the projects you already mentioned in the first break, is there any other projects that we should look forward to?
Right, since we have a big plot of land, as I mentioned earlier, it's almost 290 right. So what we build is not only single project,
I see.
but we build a city. Right, in a city there will comprise of many projects.
I see.
Okay. So for example, another project that we plan to build next year, we call it innovation exhibition.
I see.
So the concept is to, if you look at the museum, the museum, most museums show the past, show the history, but we would like to build a museum for the future.
I see.
So,
very interesting concept.
Right. So we cannot do by ourselves. So our plan is to invite the business, the private sector, the company that they would like to show their technology for the future.
I
So
see.
not only Thai companies, but also, international companies who want to demonstrate
I see.
their research and development.
So there will be a change of, the exhibition every month or so, or
Right.
how does it work?
Actually, it's a permanent exhibition, but it's changed by the company itself.
I see.
So we don't the one who take care about the content. Each company will take care,
I see. You just provide the area
Right.
and they provide the content.
right. And if we put them together, not only one company. Okay, for example, if we can put them like 30 companies, it's going to be very interesting.
I see.
I think.
It'll be
this-
very unique actually.
Right, and we hope that not only the benefit will not go only for the public, but also it's going to be the tourist attraction
I
as well.
see. So this tourist attraction, when you mentioned, what is the plan other than a museum and department store? What do you plan in line to make it a destination?
Well, if we look at this area, in Suan Luang area, it used to be a district for a destination for food.
Yes.
Okay, we want to bring them back again to create like a food destination, workshop destination, lifestyle destination.
Yes.
Okay, and connecting with Siam Square, which already exists. Siam Square actually is already tourist destination, but for fashion, for new idea, for creativity, we can connect Siam Square and to Sam Yan and Suan Luang.
I see. As I've heard that you will develop Sam Yan area as
Yeah.
well. So what's the idea behind it? What do you aim to develop? Like what it is, the area make it more nicer or add more shops, or how do you plan to do it?
Alright, it's going to be different from any department store. What we build is not a department store, but we build smart intellectual city.
I see.
Since Siam Yan and Suan Luang comprise of a big part of land,
Yes.
right? We have a set of advantages, like not only a big part of land, but it's located in the middle of Bangkok, easy to access, and also next to the university.
I see.
So this kind of advantage, we think about the character of this city.
I see.
Of course, it's difficult to build a new destination,
Of course.
right? In theory, but luckily that we have a big plot.
I
So we have to think carefully how to build a city as a destination.
I see.
So using the three advantages that I mentioned.
But as you've mentioned that, the land has been with you for a very long time, and the shops that's inside the land has been with you for, I don't know, maybe more than 60 years, let's say. Will these shops continue to be part of your project, or there will be new shops being
Yes.
in place?
Most shops that you mentioned are mostly are located in Siam Square, but not Sam Yan and Suan Luang. That what we are going to build is where we are going to build is a Sam Yan Suan Luang area.
I see.
So that's mostly a community that we have to relocate, building a better community, better
I
environment.
I see.
But for Siam Square area, for the commercial zone, we still want to improve as an outdoor shopping, a place for entrepreneurs. If you are local, usually most brands that are located in Siam Square are local.
I see.
We are a place for new creativity, new
I see.
innovation.
When you mentioned innovation, actually this word innovation is very new into business concept. How else do you plan to put this word into your plans other than the museum? Is there anything else that you would put innovation into part of the
Right.
city?
Actually, we are going to invite, actually to build a cluster, but we have to invite a business.
I see.
Right. Right now there are many startups, many tech firms, but small ones.
Yes.
We want to put them together into this city, into this area, and if they come together, it's going to build something. It's like
see.
synergy. They can benefit each other. But not only tech firms, but we have to look at the ecosystem as a whole, right? We have we have park for good lifestyle, for recreation. We have food, of course, that's very good. It's quite convenient for transportation. And we located next to university. We can bring knowledge of the university, you know, to support them.
I see. So when you say that you will invite these, companies and stuff to come and join into the project, do you have to have a marketing strategy to attract them?
Right. That's why we need a master plan. We need a clear roadmap. What the city is, what the character of the city is. In order to motivate, to inspire them that this city has is suitable for them.
So what is the character, what is the identity that you have in mind for this city?
Well, we are not just a small development, not just one plot, one block, but we have several blocks.
Actually big, very big.
Yeah, it's very big, and as I mentioned, it's good. We have a good sport facility, good accessibility, and we have also human capital. Right, we locate next to university. We have a lot of human capital with high quality.
Yes.
So this would be the reason why they should come here.
I see. Have you started already at contacting the companies, or it's just an idea that you have right now?
I personally talk to a few companies.
And what is the feedback?
Yeah, that's very positive.
Really?
But they still need to look at the final version of this master plan.
I see.
It's ongoing now.
I see.
Actually, our plan is after we finish, we complete the master plan. We want to open for the public opinion.
I see.
Actually, we welcome all suggestions for Thai people. What they want, what they thought that we are missing, the area that we are missing. If you look at on holiday, which place that you want to spend time. Not only department store, not only shopping mall, but we want to spend time at a place that
has everything.
And for the whole family.
I see.
I have young kids.
Yes.
I don't want to encourage them to go to shopping mall every weekend,
course.
right? I would like to see them spend time in
recreational activities, right?
Right. This one not only recreation but also learning.
I see.
It's learned by and with enjoy learning, not informal education.
I see. So it seems like you are going along on the line with the government's policy, the 4.0 policy.
Yes.
So is that the inspiration from that policy? Is that what you're basing it on?
I think we follow that, but it's a long-term mission of our university. Like I mentioned, we want to create a value to society.
I see.
Not only maximizing revenue. Okay, the first objective of this property management office is to create a value society based on the land that we got.
I see. And value in this sense is not by revenue, but actually the quality of life, right? If I'm not wrong.
Right.
I see. And so the park, let me ask more about the park, as you've mentioned that it's the latest project that will be opened soon. What is special about this park?
Well, it's about the site is almost like 30 right, 29 right exactly, and it's going for open for public. The special is actually the design is like eco-friendly.
Oh really?
The water will be reused. We have like the porous pavement. When the water comes, it's gonna be we build a pond to contain water to be able to reuse.
I see. Is it bicycle friendly as well, or
Yes,
it's just allowed
exactly.
for people?
Actually, we have like 21 meters of footpath.
Oh wow.
Actually, right of way is about 30 meters. The road to the park from Rama 1 to Rama 2 to the park, and from Rama 4 to the park. The right of way is about 30 meters, but the roadway only 9 meters, so about 10.5 each on each side. The bicycle lane will be dedicated bicycle lane.
Wow, sounds very interesting.
Yes.
Indeed. Well, lastly, let me ask you, do you have anything do you want to say to our viewers today?
Well, for the forthcoming century, Chulalongkorn University as a public university, we commit to make the royal granted land for the best interest of the society, not only for the university. And I would like to welcome all public opinions, all suggestions of what the Thai people would like to see the future of Thailand.
I see.
And to make actually I personally would like to follow the last king's aspiration to make the university as a root of the kingdom.
I see. That is very great indeed, and I believe that many of us will be looking forward for the projects by the organization. Well, that's all the time we had for this episode, and thank you so much for joining us today. ขอบคุณค่ะ
Thank you for inviting me.
By trying to combine old traditional ways and the new into their development project, the Property Management Office of Chulalongkorn University has proved that their ways can help make the area better and up to par with other developed nations, which is already proven by many of their finished projects. And we will be looking forward to see their new projects which will be opened this year. And that's the end of today's episode. Thank you for tuning in. สวัสดีค่ะ